Hey everyone, Beyond the Bottom Shelf is a podcast in which we delve into books that explore sensitive and controversial topics such as sexual violence, bestiality, and body horror. We analyze this material with an irreverent air. If you do stick around, we hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Bottom Shelf. I'm Jules.
And I'm Ash.
And this is the podcast that delves into books that have been relegated to the bottom shelf. The daring, campy, transgressive, the unapologetically sleazy and tasteless. We read it all, and we savor it.
Find out which works of fiction we deem eligible to stay on the bottom shelf and which ones transcend into an honored rank of their own. We call this place Beyond the Bottom Shelf.
Let's do this.
How much time does this say?
We got an hour 16, Jules.
Okay.
Okay.
Hour 16.
Do I sound better now? Because this is the first official episode, not including the one that we lost
Oh,
and
because
deleted,
Oh, yeah.
where I have this new mic.
Last
sounds great.
episode, we talked about that we were going to read cock.
Crack, I mean cock.
CAWK.
Yeah, but then our episode, I don't even know how to explain it.
Malfunctioned?
Yeah, all the audio sounded really bad for some reason.
Compromised?
Was compromised? Because we didn't
I think
record
the word
it
you're looking for
directly
was
into the
corrupted,
SD.
but I don't think that's what happened. Something was off on the settings or something. But yeah, it all sounded really shitty.
You guys will never know what could have been from that story. Just look it up for yourself.
Yeah, that was when you were really, really tired. Felt like everybody was tired that day.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it was for the best. I really was tired.
It kind of felt like a relief in a way, not having to edit that, because we were already like overthinking it.
No one was that upset about it, but I guess we could return to that one day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, there's so much of this shit out here.
There's so much
Yeah, you just gotta keep pressing forward, I think.
It's crazy. I feel like, yeah, it's like the best of the worst. There's always gonna be stuff to.
Was that a reference to the Red Letter Media?
Yeah, I forgot their name, Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
It's like there's always gonna be bad movies and bad. I mean, not bad.
Don't
books,
say
but-
bad. You don't know that they're bad.
Not bad
okay?
books, but
Sometimes they're good.
yeah, fringe books.
There you go. Fringe books.
Did you finish your sandwich already?
No, I put it in the fridge.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I don't know. I'm someone who gets full very quickly.
Yeah, unlike me.
All I need is a couple of bites of things, and a couple of bites of something, and then I'm fine.
You're like the little old ladies that always like order. Like I feel like there's always little old ladies that order like brunch and then they take a few bites and they always take the rest home.
Oh, yeah. I like leftovers. What do you guys think?
Leftovers are the best.
Wow.
I love how your voice trailed off at the
Wow.
end. What do you guys think?
What do you guys think? We are recording, so this is banter we're doing.
Well, sometimes Jacob thinks like the flavors and sauces like mix in better like in leftovers. If you like leave meat like then eat it the next day, it's like more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that like original of an opinion, but it does seem like things congeal and sort of like settle more when it comes to like pasta sitting in a fridge for 2 days, you know? They're better.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I agree, actually.
Let's try that next time.
Was it what? You should try that next time. So just make
Yeah.
a pasta and then put it in the fridge. Yeah, that's a good idea.
For Mother's Day, I got some pasta, but I only put it in the fridge for one day, and it was very good.
Where'd y'all go? Just kidding.
We went to a gastropub.
What type of
Wow.
pasta was it?
It was like a grilled chicken pasta, but it had like black olives in it.
Ew.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
Yeah. Wait, so you said it was good.
It was good.
It was
I didn't
good
like
after
the
a
olives.
day, but actually you didn't like it to begin with.
Did you pick off the olives?
I'm
Did you
confused.
ask?
Yeah, I picked off the olives,
Gotcha.
and the chicken was a bit burnt too.
I don't like olives. I've never liked
I don't
them.
like the word gastropub. I know. It's fucking weird.
What
It's
does
kind
it
of like,
sound
you know
right?
what another place that, like another name you'll see out there for a type of place that's off-putting as well is, God damn it, I'm actually blanking on it. Let me, I know, oh yeah, okay, I got it. I don't have it. You're going to edit all this. Oh, I got it. Frozen custard.
You pointed
It
that out.
sounds
the other
disgusting. It
day.
sounds like disgusting mayonnaise pudding or something.
It's like mustard.
Like frozen mayonnaise.
What makes it different than frozen yogurt? Is it thicker?
I don't fucking know. It's just disgusting sounding. It sounds like it would be
Custard is
yellow.
Ice cream.
You'd make this yellow mayonnaise goo.
Because it just like it rhymes with mustard. I think you're thinking.
That's probably what it is. That's actually not that deep, is it?
when you say stuff like that, frozen custard.
Not ice cream.
Immediately.
Gross. It's just like a ugly consonant sound. Custard.
That's not the custard. That looks disgusting.
Yeah, but that and gastropubs. I don't like that. That sounds like
gastro.
gas.
Gastronines.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It sounds like intestines.
Gastro, like yeah.
And it sounds like the food you would get there would wreak havoc on your... Is it wreak
Body?
havoc or wreak havoc? What is the word?
I've always thought it
Wreak
was
havoc.
I've pronounced
Wreck?
it reek, but I think it's wreck havoc.
Yeah, on your gastrointestinal system.
It's spelled WREAK, reek.
Oh, is it wreak havoc?
Wreaking havoc.
Can we get the little guy on the thing to pronounce it?
I know.
I like him.
Pull it up real quick.
Reek. Okay, hold on.
Wreak havoc on the
So wreak havoc. Okay, now I know how to say it.
Reek havoc.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Reek havoc.
So what are we reading this week, or what did we read this week?
So we read Burden by Ash. Do you want to take a stab at the name? Matt DeChaussee?
Matt D.
Matt D.
Did Chelsea? Did Chelsea?
DeChaussee, DuchoSoy.
Why don't you get the little guy to pronounce it?
Oi, the Chosoy.
But it's a pen name anyway.
Chosoy.
DeChaussee pronunciation. I don't know if I can get the guy to pronounce a surname. Oh, wait, you can.
Yeah, no, you can.
Oh, shoot, okay.
Pronouncenames.com.
It's Spanish.
Duchosoy.
Okay, good.
DuchoSoy.
Tell us about this guy.
Matt Chosoy.
So, Matt DeChaussee, that's actually a pen name. So he switched back to writing under his real name in 2023. This book was written in 2022, though, right? Or 2021?
I think it was 2022 because that's the date that he signed off in his afterword.
Oh, that was and after. Okay. So 2022. Remember, he made it clear though in his Goodread bio that he switched back to his real name, Matthew Clark with an E at the end, in 2023. So he writes horror, bizarro, and anything in between. Those are his words. So I actually found like an interview with him when he was published in this one magazine, which is pretty cool. It's called Black Hair Press. He actually was published multiple times in there. But I guess I'm just going to read a little bit about him. He has had many short stories published, and he's published one novel and one novella. And he says where he explores themes of loyalty and acceptance in those novels and novellas. He has also had many short stories published, ranging from humorous to the horrific. His shorter pieces, usually from his darker side, can be found in several Black Hair Press anthologies, through Sinister Smile Press. He just lists a lot of presses, KJK Publishing, and through Hellbound Books. So I get the theme with the word like sinister, hellbound, more like horror stuff. So yeah, and he likes the bizarre. One of his books was like, what was it called? Things Were Easier Before You Became a Giant Fucking Mantis. That was his self-published book he wrote in 2021. He also wrote, so in his interview that he had with the Black Hair Press, I thought this was interesting because I couldn't find too much about him. Like I tried pressing on his website that I found on the Facebook page, and it led to it didn't work. It was like website not found. But I guess he used to have a website.
He used to have one. Okay.
Or it's just like
I mean,
not
websites
working.
are becoming less and less relevant, I guess, with social media being where everybody goes.
Yeah, I was. That's what I guess what happened. I couldn't find his Instagram though. Maybe.
But it does look a little weird for it to be like not available.
Yeah, I know because it's still linked to his Goodreads. But he said in an interview, with the place that published him, I grew up reading Goosebumps, which I attribute to my lifelong love of horror. If I had to choose one book that stuck with me the most, though, it would have to be Stephen King's Firestarter.
Oh.
Which I snuck from my parents' bookshelf and devoured in a day. I can't have been much older than 8 at the time. It was like my beloved Goosebumps books, only better. So I didn't know much about Firestarter at all. I've never actually, it sounds similar in a way to Carrie. Have you heard of Firestarter?
Yeah, no, I've heard of it, and I think there is a film that came out in the last year based on it. So I don't think it got very good reviews, but it's one of those ones I used to see at used bookstores a lot.
Really?
But I'm not super familiar with it.
Is it connected to any of his other books? Do you know?
I'm not sure. But so much of his stuff is interconnected.
He's like
and
a
references
universe.
each other and stuff. Yeah, so it could be.
Okay, I was just wondering if you knew any more about it. And I also wanted to read this one little bit that he said, advice to people that want to be writers. Don't be afraid. When I first started writing with an aim to publish, many stories ended up in the wastebasket unfinished. I was editing my stories so heavily as I went along, afraid that it would not be good enough, that I would run out of steam before I could even finish them. But I've learned to push through and focus on getting the story out first. There will be plenty of time for polish later.
Maybe this story we're about to talk about should have ended up in the wastebasket. Well, I mean, I'm kidding. It may not be true. Maybe it's really good.
I was wondering, I'm going to probably edit this out, but there were some typos, and I was like,
yeah, that's sometimes
polishing.
The problem with self-published stuff is it doesn't go through the screening of an editor to fix some of that stuff and
just easy stuff that you would not even look over if you write
some
yourself.
Changes and tightening things up. So that's sometimes the issue with this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it does take you out of it sometimes when there's an obvious flaw or grammar mistake or there's one writer I really like, but his first work was self-published, and there's a character whose name just changes.
Oh my God.
It goes from it's like Dr. Morris, and then a few sentences later, Dr. Moody.
Wait, wait.
Fuck.
Is this didn't you show me this?
Yeah, it's J.R. Harmatashen.
Yes.
But somebody recently picked up that first collection and republished it, and I noticed that it was corrected in that one.
The name changed.
Yeah.
Did you think he was doing something super smart?
No, I knew it was fucked up.
Oh, that's a big one. I can't. That does
Maybe
not happen
we'll read some
book.
of his stuff for this, but it would kind of mess up the dynamic of the show here because I've read a lot of his stuff. Yeah. But it would qualify because some of it's super bizarre and strange, and it's not super well read. But
I feel like our fans want us to read.
But a lot of it's really good. Yeah, no. I would definitely recommend a lot of his stuff.
I need to stop.
We can just jump right into Burden, though.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get started. Cue the wand. Burden, written by Matt DeChusey, or Matt Clark, that we just now have learned, is a story that is written from the perspective of our protagonist, Ellen. She is a mortician who's going through a tough divorce battle with her husband, Jack, and is fighting for custody of her 12-year-old son, Ted. He's 12, right?
Teddy, yeah. He's 12.
Yeah, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, at first, what seems like a typical long night shift at the morgue turns bizarre as she gets a John Doe body, but there's no information, there's no folder, nothing. Usually what happens is they first go to the coroner's office, but then once they go to the coroner's office, then they go to the mortician. And usually there's a file and everything that talks about it, but she didn't get any of that. All the drivers said that it's most likely a heart attack and the coroner was swamped tonight. Ellen is pissed.
So the coroner swamp, so they just send him through?
That's what I'm saying.
Could that ever actually happen?
No, it's not. I don't think it's
I guess
supposed to be.
it's possible, but it doesn't matter. It's just the explanation for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the explanation, she's kind of supposed to be find suspicious too, I think.
I got you.
No,
so
she
that's part
finds
of the
it
story.
suspicious, yeah. It's not like a...
It's not like a kind of a lame, what would be the word? Contrived thing.
No, it's not. Because she's pissed. She's like, what the hell? This is weird. Why is there no information? So, As she's beginning to inspect the body, she is startled by what she sees. Okay. The deceased was a teenager, male, shoulder-length, black hair, dark, sunken eyes, almost as if the eyeballs were recessed. Blunt force trauma was the first thought that came to her mind, but there was no blood, bruising, or any obvious sign of impact. A thin nose led to a slightly agape, downturned mouth. The longer Ellen stared, the more unnerved she became. She shook herself out of it and continued to unwrap both sides of the plastic. Huh?
Wait, the huh was...
The huh was in the story.
Was the... Okay.
That was so natural. It sounded like an Ashley huh. Huh?
Yeah, that was kind of uncanny.
So, she's confused by his death and doesn't think that it's a heart attack. Because the guys that were dropping him off, the John Doe, is it John Doe, right? Yeah, the John Doe body. They were all like, oh, yeah, it's probably just a heart attack. But she's like, I don't think it is because of everything that she sees. So
I will credit him. Like, I feel like he actually put some research into what morticians.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
That didn't seem like like when I first started reading this, I was like, okay, this guy actually seems like he put some effort into like what a mortician would see and stuff.
No, yeah, I agree. It wasn't like a quick thing. Like, I think he actually took the time to develop.
Research it.
Yeah. Okay. So as she turns around to put her clipboard up, the corpse gives her a fright. All right, ready for this? The deceased was sat upright, eyes two bottomless wells staring accusingly. Ellen stumbled back, stunned. Legs weak, she tripped over something, perhaps her own feet, and hit the tiled floor. Her back slammed against the desk and sent a pot of pencils onto her head like a barrage of miniature spears. Groaning.
Barrage.
Huh?
A barrage?
Oh, did I say barrage?
A barrage.
Why did I say Why did I say that? The deceased was sat upright, eyes two bottomless wells staring accusingly. Ellen stumbled back, stunned, legs weak. She tripped over something, perhaps her own feet, and hit the tiled floor. Her back slammed against the desk and sent a pot of pencils onto her head like a barrage of miniature... Did I say it wrong again? Did I say it again? What the hell? Barrage.
Man, you really stuck the landing on it because, like, you said it, you enunciated the barrage more this time.
Barrage.
Barrage.
What?
Barrage.
So early, too. I was like, we're going to get 30 minutes before we hit this.
Fuck this line. I don't care anymore.
No, say
All
it
right.
one more time. It's fucking amazing.
Barrage?
Yes.
Why? Okay, fine. Barrage.
Real quick, can we have the guy say barrage?
Barrage. Okay.
Play it one time. Hold on, everybody quiet.
We don't have time for
We do. We have time. Okay.
Barrage.
barrage.
Okay, good.
I
Here we
like
go.
how she
Go.
All right. The deceased was sat upright, eyes two bottomless wells staring accusingly. Ellen stumbled back, stunned, legs weak. She tripped over something, perhaps her own feet, and hit the tile floor. Her back slammed against the desk and sent a pot of pencils onto her head like a barrage.
Okay, we're just moving on.
Barrage?
Just keep going on. Just keep going, dude.
I know. Her back slammed against the desk and sent a pot of pencils onto her head like a barrage of miniature spears. Groaning, Ellen opened her eyes and stood up. After that terrifying ordeal, she goes outside to get some fresh air, but sees that the atmosphere outside is surrounded by darkness, and it seems as though the dark void is like encasing onto her. So, with more calls coming through of new bodies that all have the same appearance and strange instances that occurs, she seems to wonder if these are just some kind of hallucinations that are caused by stress, or maybe she unknowingly entered some alternate world. How will this night turn out? And what other eye-sunken bodies will she encounter? Is this all a hallucination or a new reality? Will Ellen succumb to the descent?
There's more questions. Fuck. All right, keep going.
My favorite part of it.
I was like, that was a good one to end on. That had some finality to it. No, it doesn't. There's more.
Will Ellen succumb to the descent of the dark void? We shall see.
I like those verbs. Succumb to the descent of the dark.
I was trying to be more dramatic.
So Jacob, you get that there's like, I'm just gonna quiz you. What's the physical feature that all these have in common? All these bodies are getting.
Eyes.
Yes.
Wow, I'm fucking so smart. Picking up on that. The bottomless well of a huge big ass eye that stares
I was
accusingly.
just checking because I know a lot was happening.
I was half paying attention and I picked up on that shit.
Hey.
I mean, I was fully paying attention.
Oh, also, this book is written, which I think is really cool, and Ash put in the synopsis. It's in a series of time codes, similar to Bitch in the Box. So what's the next part start at? What time?
So we did 9 p.m., a little bit of 9:30. So now we're kind of at 9:45 p.m.
Okay, so it's broken up by the times, which is kind of interesting because it does create a little bit of tension, I think, just structuring it that way.
Yeah, I actually
I
had an idea for a novella, like doing it like with time codes, because I like that idea after. Like,
Just ignore the camera, okay?
no, it's good. I like having pictures.
Okay, so where did we leave
So we're at
off?
9 p.m. when she's working on the cadaver.
No, because we kind of talked about that, because we talked about the teenager that she saw. So now I'm just going to go into the next body that she receives.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so once Ellen, so she's back inside after she got some fresh air from the outside. And when she comes in, she hears another ring-a-ding-a-ding. And she's like, okay. So she picks up the receiver. And it's when she picks it up, it says in a very staticky voice,
Another delivery, 10 minutes.
and then there was a click, and the line went silent.
Classic.
She can't believe that she's seen another body after getting one just only 20 minutes ago. She's like, what the hell is up? Why am I getting another body? Something's up. So she goes outside to look for the van. Okay, so this time, the body that she gets actually has some paperwork. Ellen asks if those people have a phone on them, because right now the phone line isn't working.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like she's using a landline phone, right? To call.
Right? And so the guys are like confused and basically tell her that there's no one she can call. And she would be even lucky to get anyone.
These guys that drive the van are just kind of like douchey almost. Like they're not like, they're kind of like harsh and be like, another body. I don't know. They're supposed to be like, no.
I guess you would be desensitized to it if you worked in this field, right?
Yeah.
So, but right now she's like particularly pissed because like they just keep giving her bodies and they don't tell her anything and they're not going to the corners. But anyway, I guess this one did.
Standard protocol.
This one actually.
So
had a
there's
folder.
some broader conspiracy happening here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
a genius, dude.
So this body was of Ruby West, and she is an attractive blonde newscaster. And she reveals that Blondie, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say Blondie, Ruby West, apparently this is a woman that her ex, or I guess her soon-to-be divorced husband has like a thing for. Like he always thinks she's really hot, but like
Every time he sees her on the 9:00 news, she sees him how he watches her.
But it's like, did she actually see him drooling over her, or does she think that he's
It's at
like
her own head,
Right.
Like,
Is the God, I'm struggling to find vocab words here. Okay, give me 1 second. In the writing, is that
the unclearness, like the ambiguity.
God,
There it is. That's
the ambiguity of that, is that
No.
embedded in the story, or is that something you're asking?
I think we
That's
had
what I'm posing.
Okay.
because based off things that are revealed later.
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So she's like working on the body, and she's being kind of, I don't know, she's being a little much. Right now, Ruby West, she also has that appearance of the eyes sinking into her head. She compares it to like two ball bearings placed on quicksand. That's what her eyes are like.
What are ball bearings again? Like,
I guess they're like little marbles. Oh, not marble, like metal,
oh,
like spherical metallic balls.
yeah, that's exactly what they are. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Literally just like like metallic marbles, basically.
But that's kind of an interesting way of describing that. I don't know if it's like the most evocative image I've ever heard. I'm kind of just like, what? I had to think about it. I had to think about that for a second.
Okay, so she compared So this is the description she gave. She's like, she wondered if her husband would still find her attractive now, the Ruby West, as she's working on her. Would he care that Ruby's face was a hideous parody of what it had once been? That a puckered, Y-shaped incision contaminated her otherwise flawless skin from groin to shoulders? Probably not. No doubt he'd still pay her attention more than his wife.
Damn, dude.
She got some insecurities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. So Ellen, it's revealed that Ellen was a promising medical student, but after her failed contraceptive,
Having a kid. Because she had a kid or something?
yeah, and pressure from her husband, she had to put her career on hold so she could raise her son. But luckily, she was able to climb up the ladder and be a mortician.
Got
So
it.
she started off as an assistant. So, I mean, she's still successful. I don't know.
It wasn't like the
Yeah.
dream, but that's okay. That happens in life. It's not exactly what you wanted.
I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how well-paid morticians are.
I think reasonably
think,
well
right?
paid because
I think
it's,
they get pretty
I don't
well
know if it's the most in-demand fucking
Sometimes there's like jobs
sought
out
after
there.
job ever.
55,000, which is kind of like a.
That's not great,
bad.
actually.
That's actually really bad.
Yeah,
I know. I thought it
would
was
be way
like
better.
70,000 or
That's like
something.
never mind.
Okay, never mind. That sucks.
Sorry.
We shouldn't income shame here, so we should probably cut all that too.
Trust me.
But I would definitely
Last
expect that to be
person
a
on the
little
planet.
better. Yeah.
To income shame. Okay. Anyway, so as she's working on her, the lights suddenly went out. So now she's going to go to the fuse box in the reception area. But there was supposed to be something ordered to like help it, like some kind of replacement, right? It was in the reception area, but it
So
couldn't.
the thing was on the fritz, and there was supposed to be a repair done.
Yeah,
That's kind of the
obviously.
idea. Yeah.
So she's still gonna, okay, so she's going towards the fuse box, but she got lost because it's really dark. And also it's really dark outside. So there's not really any natural light that's coming in to like help guide her, right? Not even from the outside. So as she's getting lost, she's like, what the fuck? So she's kind of takes this 180 again, and her finger gets, she strikes the rear of the embalming machine. I had to look this up because I've never even heard of an embalming machine. And I guess it's like something that kind of gets rid of like the bacterial or to kind of help stop the decaying process.
Don't you have to like shoot them with it? Like it. Like,
yeah,
it
there's
comes
some needle
something-
that goes in.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you like embalm someone. Yeah, that's the thing
Like
that
what they did to
helps.
mummies.
Right.
It's like a fluid you put into the dead body.
Exactly. I hate sounding so ignorant talking about this.
No, you don't.
No.
No, not me, just all of us. But keep going.
Okay. So 10:15 p.m. Alan is not alone. There's a security guard named Bill, but Bill is not much help. And she basically tells him that, hey, can you check the phone lines? Like the phone's not working. Can you do that?
Also, he's a security guard that doesn't have a gun. Did you notice that? He's a security guard without a gun.
What?
He doesn't have a gun. As
A lot of security
Really?
guards don't have guns.
Yeah. That was like
Oh.
a detail. Like, yeah, I guess that.
But that's stated in the story, right?
Yeah, it's like he had no gun. It was later stated. Anyway, keep going.
Ellen has another hallucination. Okay, so listen to this. She cleaned down the gurney while waiting for the kettle to boil because she's making some coffee. Black 1 sugar. Ellen put an extra scoop of the cheap granules in, then stirred until the brown paste turned into a semi-drinkable fluid. The taste was somehow worse than the smell. She winced, but savored the burning sensation at the back of her throat. Anything to distract her from her thoughts. The John Doe, Ruby West, her family. It wasn't until something splashed across her feet that she noticed that the hand clasped around the coffee cup was shaking. 1 sleep-deprived hallucination was unusual. 2 were a cause for concern. Perhaps Jack wasn't so far off the mark when he told her she was crazy.
I can just imagine that, like, that coffee.
So help me understand
Stir.
this hallucination. So there was a hand grasping the mug.
No, it was her hand,
It was her hand?
right?
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. It was like
no, it was a really, when I read this, he does this, like, how he wrote that. Like, it made it seem like separate from her, but it's her hand until that you notice the hand clasped around the coffee cup was shaking. So it's her hand.
so the liquid splash across her feet is the coffee, and she's shaking.
Yeah.
What was the hallucination in that context there? what was hallucinated? Because
don't
for a
know,
second
you're-
I was like, oh, some zombie hand grabbing the coffee?
Actually,
You have no fucking idea.
Good point. I don't know.
I thought there was a hand that clasped around the coffee cup. I thought it was something else.
Oh, I thought it was her.
Because when you were going through it, I was like, okay, some blood splashed on her feet, and then she looks down and sees a hand on the coffee mug. I was like, that's a lame horror image. Like, oh no, a hand is on my coffee mug. But it also seemed like it was her shaking, and then the shaking is what caused the liquid to splash across her feet.
That's what I thought. I thought her
But
hand
then in that
shaking.
context, what would be the fucking hallucination?
It wasn't until something splashed across her feet that she noticed the hand clasped around the coffee cup was shaking. So her hand was shaking, which caused it to splash. That's what I read. I thought it was a confusing image.
Yeah, that's weak.
Yeah, I was kind of confused when I read it the first time. I was like,
But
what?
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, or at least I will, since I haven't read this. Maybe there's like a broader context in that helps make this make sense.
That's true.
Was there a hallucination right before?
Well, she had another hallucination when, remember, with the guy that stood upright? She got really scared by that, the first corpse.
Oh, yeah.
That was her first hallucination.
And we didn't go over that. So earlier,
Yeah, we did.
was I fucking not paying attention? So he sits upright.
Okay. So we're going to go into 12:10 a.m. So Bill, the security guard, asks her if she wants to go on a stroll. So Ellen's got the hots for Bill. Okay.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's not how I thought this would go. No, when you kept saying Bill, I was thinking some like old
A fat, like a security guard.
Yes, right.
Came
he's
out of
like
nowhere.
he's hot?
And there was no hint of it. Like
I
up until
thought
that
she didn't
point.
like him because she was always like, "Oh yeah, can you check on this?"
I know. I thought she was trying to get him out of there. Like, hey, can you check?
And his
this?
name's Bill. Which is never like a cool, sexy
And later,
name.
he's described having bushy eyebrows. So I'm like, why?
and bald.
Yeah.
Why does she like him? Because she's supposed to be kind of like a. We'll find out later. But
Is he like is he like Jason Statham or something, like a sexy bald guy?
maybe
I don't know. Maybe it was. Okay.
If
so
she's
He's got
alone.
bushy eyebrows. Too.
here, I'll read the
his name's
description that she
Bill?
gives for him. She hated the way he was looking at her, but couldn't blame him. She hated the way she was looking at him, but couldn't. Wait, what?
Starts-
That makes no sense. Okay, fine. She hated the way he was looking at her, but couldn't blame him. If she'd been calling someone's name without response, she'd be a little concerned too. Regardless, perhaps a nighttime stroll, no matter how brief, with a hunky security guard was just what she needed to take her mind off things. She fantasized about Bill a handful of times. The two of them, there, alone at night, and she caught him looking at her chest on more than one occasion, but she never acted on it, no matter how much the thought excited her.
Wow, this is not what I expected.
Of course, he's really.
I thought Bill would be a guy that just got killed about halfway through the book, and he's just some like loser. Is this about to happen in it? Okay, sorry.
I guess he was looking at her like she was concerned for her because she was. Like,
Yeah.
That's why she hated the way he looked at her.
Right.
But yeah.
So yeah, that's a love triangle we got there. No, we're not really triangle.
A
Well, I
love
guess-
line.
Okay, so at 12:21 a.m., they go out for their night stroll. But Bill sees something strange about the landscape. So he's also noticing that something's up. He's like, "Tell me you're seeing this." And then they all say, "The perimeter of the mortuary?
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 You didn't know how to say that?
No.
Mortician, mortuary.
Mortuary. Right?
That's adorable.
Mortuary?
Adorable.
Okay, the perimeter of the mortuary was surrounded by... What? Did I not say it right?
No, you're good.
Okay, the perimeter of the mortuary was surrounded by a shoulder-height cobbled wall topped with iron fencing. Beyond that was nothing but fields, mostly flat and clear on a good night. The darkness Ellen had noticed earlier appeared to be closing in. No longer was the decrepit skeleton of the barn on the old Johnson farm visible, nor the glow from the street lamps on the only road in and out of her workplace. So they just... Basically, what Bill and Ellen do is they blame it on the weather. They're like, oh, it's just like low clouds. Or they think it's just some like optical illusion. They're
Okay.
not accepting the fact that maybe there is some sort of like dark void
Something
coming
ominous.
in. Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. So she thinks back about the guys telling her that something big was happening. Right? Because they were telling her like, oh, I don't think you're going to get in touch with anyone, blah, blah,
The
blah.
van drivers.
Right, yeah. So she's like, oh my God, wait, is something actually happening? So as she was looking out, she's thinking about, her family and what they're up to. She knows that Jack, her husband, is probably, just talking to internet whores.
Wait, what?
That was a random detail. Like, talking to, was it that terminology? Internet whores,
That's what he
right?
says. Jack is probably talking to internet whores.
Is Jack the ex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're still living together. Internet whores. This is for my guy.
Yeah, it's weird for the female protagonist to be slut shaming like that.
Right? That's why I was always so like...
I mean, I guess it doesn't mean women aren't capable of slut. But still, it's just something a little weird about that.
Maybe she's just really mad.
Yeah.
She's got to take it out on
And I think
women.
she's justified in her anger.
Okay, but then she starts talking about Ted, or Teddy.
Who the fuck is Teddy?
Her son. Her
son.
12-year-old.
So
I thought it was another guy she liked.
No. Ted is the son. She describes him as 12 going on 20. He recently fallen in with a bad crowd and often came home late, eyes bloodshot and stinking of cheap cannabis. He told her on several occasions he couldn't stand to be around her.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. What the fuck does cheap cannabis smell like?
I don't know.
Because dank fucking cannabis is good. So I don't know how you detect cheap cannabis. Am I
This
just
author refers to...
It seems like that's a phrase you
marijuana.
would use, like, that you think sounds cool, but upon further, like, you like dig a little deeper, it's like, this is actually stupid. Okay, maybe I'm the stupid one. Maybe you can smell cheap cannabis.
He was describing it weirdly
Okay.
at other points, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's actually ever smoked weed.
He used an adjective. I feel like he could, I don't know, some of the ways he describes things, not just the cannabis, but that one actually didn't strike me as too bad, but there was other moments. But anyway, I don't think the
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I think it's one of those things where you see people use, like, smelling of cheap perfume. People say that a lot and, like write that a lot. And I think it was kind of like
he thought of writerly things.
yeah, it's like his brain went there into that phrase that you've heard a lot that sounds kind of cool and like seedy. You know what I mean? So I think it was kind of a misguided phrasing.
So, Jack was too weak to discipline, so it always fell to her. But because of this and the mistakes she made in the past, she doubted she'd get custody after the divorce was finalized. So, some tension in the family.
Son hates the mom.
Yeah. Okay. So as they were out, she notices that the loading bay doors, where the bodies come through, those doors were open, but the motion lights were off. And she was like, what? How the doors are open, but there's no motion light on? So she's like, oh, Bill,
Bill's dead already.
Now we like Bill.
I know what's happening here.
So Bill
Is he gonna have the eyes too? Huh? She's gonna find him with the
Not-
eyes and shit. God damn.
This one. Oh. Okay, so Bill goes towards the door. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'll go. You stay here. How men do. So Bill goes toward the door.
Say how men do.
Protecting. They gotta.
Yeah, that thing they do that's toxic as fuck.
No. So as Bill
Trying to
goes,
help and protect and defend. What the fuck, dude?
Okay, so as he goes towards the door, he notices that a body is left there. Another one. But this one has a folder this time as well.
So it's just laying next to it.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's laying on top of it.
Makes sense.
So this body also has the appearance of a shocked, sunken eyes.
It doesn't make sense. I was kidding about the make sense thing. But does it make sense?
Oh, there's a folder?
Yeah, it's just sitting. So they just dropped off the body and put a folder on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not following protocol.
Yeah, so that's...
And she's annoyed about that.
Yeah, she's very annoyed.
Like, what the fuck?
She's like, what the hell is this? You guys are so incompetent. Like, what the hell? And so this body also has the same appearance of the sunken eyes and then the downturned mouth and whatnot. As if they have been terrified at the moment of death, she says. So now she's starting to think like, oh my gosh, going through the conspiracies. Oh, what if this is like the new virus going around?
Like, is it referencing COVID? Like,
I
this
think
is a
so.
new virus?
I feel like it.
In
I hate that.
2022. But it was just for a brief moment.
It's not like, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't even know if he really is making a correlation, but it's just like,
Maybe he's got
I
a
didn't.
shared universe, like a multiverse thing, where all his stories involve different viruses and stuff, and he's referencing one of his other stories.
Ooh. From his book Incel? That's one of his books.
Yeah, maybe Incels is about the Incel virus.
oh,
Because it's
You're
like
onto
cell,
something.
Cell, Incel.
oh my gosh.
So incels need to be treated as a mental, like a issue that needs to be fixed, not like a...
Wow,
Choice.
Jules, that's a half-formed thought you had there.
That was a half-formed thought.
That wasn't helped by the mind bleach shot you just took.
For real. I'll take another one in a little bit.
Okay, so she realizes that the body is her friend Kevin, who she knew in college, and it's really not worth going into it. Okay, so right now, damn, it's getting crowded up in here.
It's a party.
Okay, 1 a.m. So as she's doing the paperwork with Kevin, the phone rang again, and a static voice comes in saying,
Got another for you.
and then she's like, take it somewhere else. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not playing along anymore. And then they say, we're 10 minutes out, and then click, it goes silent.
Okay, can I say something? I don't like this at all. I hate the story. Does it get
You're
better?
gonna like it. I mean, it gets wilder. It gets bizarre.
It's really,
Okay,
I would be curious to hear what you think.
Yeah,
about
this is like, it's not gonna stay in this. I still don't know if you're gonna
this
like
is kind
it.
of like this repetitive tension building in quotes is boring me. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I don't like the staticky voice going, another one come. I just
I know, it's very
I
cheesy.
know, it is. Okay, so she's starting to think that none of this is real. Like her reality is all messed up, and like the phone's not working, the internet, and then this wall of night or whatever the hell it is, and it's just not normal. She doesn't just understand what's happening. She's very confused.
Because like the darkness is like, it's like described as like this like thing that's
It's like a
closing
fog
in.
of war.
Yeah, it's very basic.
Yeah.
description.
RTS game. You guys don't get that reference. It's okay.
No, I don't.
It's like that one part in Zelda when he goes into the dark forest and he has to use the torch.
The God, I'm struggling
wait.
remembering words for
Well,
things. But
he
at
references-
what's the name of the woods? The
I don't remember what it's called.
oh fuck!
Yeah,
How
they're playing
embarrassing.
Zelda.
We're gonna edit this.
Okay, don't. Well, yeah, we'll cut that out.
Well, he references
That's what I
Silent
remember.
Hill.
Look it up right now, Jules. The woods in Zelda games where you find the Master Sword.
I just did that part. No, it wasn't the Master Sword. It was when it's like a shrine quest.
Lost Woods.
Is that what it's called? Because every game there's a thing you have to do some sort of puzzle to make your way through the confusing foggy woods. Okay, sorry.
There's the fog, but then there's the darkness one.
Okay,
But anyway,
maybe I'm just blanking on that, but I believe you.
okay. So, so Bill wants to actually go out there again. So he wants to go outside and inspect the black wall or whatever. And Ellen thinks he's fucking crazy for doing that. So anyway, as they're coming back,
Like the person going into the basement in the movies.
right. So what's happening is the van comes and Ellen is chewing their ass out. And again, they're like, we're busy.
I have
Anyway.
a question.
Yeah,
When does this take place? What year?
Not really referenced.
it doesn't say.
Does she pull out her cell phone and like check the news or anything?
No.
But
So if
there's
this is a
internet
shroud,
whores.
kind of like, yeah, exactly. There's internet horror, so we know it's at least somewhat
There's
the
a
modern
laptop later, so it's a modern era. There's,
Era. Yeah, it just seems
there's
weird
texting.
that
There's
if you
texting
felt
later.
like you were getting cut off from the rest of the world some way, there's some shroud descending on you. It just seems like you would kind of like
Use your.
be looking at a phone, kind of like establishing contact with the world, the broader world there. I don't know. Something about that
Checking
seems
social
weird.
media.
It seems like it's convenient that we never bring that up.
Right. Okay, so now Ellen is basically begging. She's like, guys, tell me, what is going on? And then the passenger, okay, I'm going to read this quote. What do you think it is? Leaning from his seat. Don't you feel it? And then the van shook as he dropped himself into the seat. Ellen grabbed the door before he could close it, and just for a second, she thought she saw something dark in his eyes. No, that wasn't right. In the shadow cast by the sun visor, both men's eyes appeared dark and sunken. She recoiled instinctively.
It's spreading. I knew Jacob wouldn't like this. This is stop the farts. I knew this would be.
I want to go back to the erotica and the ding dongs and the dinosaurs.
It gets crazier.
It's crazy.
Okay, I'm waiting for it.
We're moving on from this part. Okay, so the men drive off and Bill has disappeared.
Oh yeah, Bill did.
When he was inspecting the place, he disappeared.
Got eaten
So
by
he's
the
like,
dog.
"Oh, yo, I'm gonna go check this out." He walks over there, and then she gets distracted by the guy showing up.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so 1:30 a.m. So she's going around the building, but there's no sign of Bill. She goes up to the darkness that appears like a solid wall, but suddenly she tells herself not to touch it, as it may have been Bill's mistake. So she
Like,
thinks
that's what
Bill
he-
might have. Yeah. So she said she leapt back as the darkness shifted an inch closer in all directions. Her heart rate speed as the realization that soon the choice would be taken away from her. Was she the only person that wasn't on the other side of it? There was no way of telling how widespread it was, but she had to consider it a possibility. The mortuary. Okay. There was no way of telling how widespread it was, but she had to consider it a possibility. The mortuary.
Just keep going.
The mortuary?
No, Jules, play it. Everybody be
Mortuary.
quiet. We're gonna play it.
Mortuary.
That was fucking terrible. Find a better one.
Mortuary?
Mortuary.
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 It's a weird one.
So the mortuary was the final pocket of air trapped in a bloating corpse.
Is that like?
I thought that was cool. I
was
highlighted
a
that. And I
cool-
did I could have did like the emoji face, like oh.
So this place, because the rest of the world is descended into darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
This is
it's
the
just a
last place on
final
Earth?
pocket, and it's making a reference to
Is there a reason why?
corpse. Yeah, you'll see.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So
I thought that was an interesting image, but also like kind of like that shift. Like, what does darkness shifting an inch closer look like? Like, it was kind of like very vague. Darkness shifted in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a
It sounds
broad
pretty.
way of describing it, but it's actually kind of a very specific image that would some specificity might have worked better.
I think he needed specificity.
but it's also difficult to go for that.
because I would probably write it the same way. That's what I was. I probably would struggle to. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. So she gets another call about another body, but she hangs up this time. She's like, no. So now she's working on the new body that she got, you know, the one that just got dropped off out of nowhere. So it says, all of the refrigeration cabinets were wide open, empty. The familiar sound of a zipper opening. She whipped her head around to face the gurney. Who's there? It quickly became apparent that she was still alone, and yet the zipper on the body bag continued to open. And then she sees that her body is her soon-to-be ex-husband, Jack.
Wow,
I like
awesome.
you type Jack in all capitals.
This story just won me back over. What happens next?
So first she was shocked as hell. She was like, what? But then she was like relieved because now she can get everything she wants in the divorce.
It was like a dark thought. She was like,
Yeah, but then she was like,
Yeah,
oh, maybe
so
that's
it's
not
like
bad.
the guy that he was horny for, or girl, guy, whoops. The girl.
Ruby, yeah.
And then he's dead now, which is amazing.
yes, goofy, I guess. And also in between all that was her like ex from college or something, or friend, ex-friend or something.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So is this
now-
another person that died that she has an issue with? The ex-friend? Is that what this is? She manifesting all this?
I wouldn't even think about that.
You guys just, like, I just unlocked something. I
Well-
didn't even fucking read it.
Okay, but hold on. We're going to talk about something else, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll see.
We'll come back to that.
Okay, so yeah, now she's like relieved. She's kind of happy. She's like, oh, you know, that's good. But then she realizes, like, oh shit, who's taking care of Ted? My boy is home all alone.
He's 12. He'll be fine.
That's actually kind of a cool gut check moment.
Yeah.
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 At least in you know, telling it back, it comes across that way. I don't know how it is in the actual story.
No, it does.
Her maternal, like her, and some of her reactions to things I actually didn't mind.
So now she's like, because she's so fearful, she's like, oh my God, I gotta leave. So she goes to the car and she's very grateful that the car is at a part of where it's
That
not
darkness hasn't been touching
Yeah, the
it.
darkness hasn't gone to the car yet. She's like, whew, Good. So,
But it's kind of like video gamey.
He's
You know what I
very.
mean?
He loves Silent Hill, by the way. In his
Yeah, it's something about the mechanics of the darkness being such that they haven't touched the car yet. Thankfully, I don't know. Something about that feels like a video game.
I think he's very because he literally talks
Wait, is
about
it
his
going to
inspiration.
twist and reveal this is all taking place in a video game?
That would be interesting.
That'd be stupid.
Okay, so as she's trying to leave, the van blocks her. The van with the guys with the bodies.
Okay.
And
annoying
she's
guys.
basically yelling
Agents
at
of
them.
the darkness. They're agents of the darkness.
That's kind of what they are like.
Kinda,
They're like
yeah.
they know everything about.
So she's basically yelling at them. She's like, move the van now. The pair put the body bag onto her car.
Yeah, they're like, if you're not gonna take it, we're gonna just put it here.
We're going to put it on your car.
On the hood.
So about the body bag. Okay, this is what it says. Then she noticed the fabric mouth of the blue bag, less than a foot away from her face on the other side of the glass, was widening, and a dark tuft of hair appeared between the orifices. Orifices?
Orifices.
Orifices, right?
Orifices. Orifice.
Orifice. I don't
Orifice?
really understand why he used that word, but yeah, that's the right word, I think.
Between the orifices? Orifice?
Orifice.
Orifice, right? Okay, so the tuft of hair appeared between the orifice, followed by a pale forehead, as if it were birthing its contents.
I hated that.
Soon the rest of the head was visible, dark, whirling, eyes boring a hole through her own.
Always the whirling eyes.
The body, ready? Do you know what the body is?
Oh, who is it going to be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ted.
Yes!
I knew it was gonna get.
There's only so many suspects
I
left.
know.
You've named like 4 names. So I just said the one that hadn't died yet.
So she's...
Names burden.
Yeah.
So if you're going to write a story like this and you're trying to make this stuff surprising, you got to have a larger cast of characters.
Right. Okay, so she's confused as she just saw him 6 hours ago. So she's like, what?
I
And
kind of
so-
thought it was a little bit annoying that. Sorry, just side comment that the author kept writing about how she she felt like she was going insane. I felt like that was overdone. Like it was like,
Yeah, I know.
was this another hallucination? I was like, just go along with it. Let her accept this. Like
Yeah, because it was kind of
it was
repetitive.
very
Oh,
repetitive.
Very repetitive.
Jules, you don't have to announce a side comment. You can just make a side comment. That's
Okay,
what a
yeah.
podcast is.
I know.
You're just talking about
Sorry, I'll cut that out.
Okay,
We're not
so
cutting it out.
She tries to move her car forward, but her engine loses power. But you know she's like, oh fucking hell, I'm so annoyed. So she gets out of the car and she tries to get inside the van now, their van, and the driver yells out at her as she's getting in. She's like, they're like, you can't run away from it. And she hops in the van and lurches into the void.
What did you call them? The officers of the night,
Agents.
agents of the they were like that.
Darkness, Jules. Agents
Agents of the darkness.
That's my new
That's what we're gonna call them.
serialized horror podcast I'm going to come
Agents
out
of the
with.
darkness.
Okay, this is where things get more interesting because we finally get some more variety in the setting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so check it out. So they just drove into the void.
Yeah.
So things are going to get wild now.
Yes, they're gonna get wild.
2001: A Space Odyssey going through the fucking black hole.
Maybe that's his inspiration.
Yeah.
Where are we at? 3:10 a.m.
No, we're at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Got you.
Okay, so I'll describe this setting right now because not everything looks the way it looks in reality.
Of
Like
course.
a lot of the setting looks really like grotesque. And weird. So I'll explain it to you. Skin, teeth, fingernails, everything in sight comprised of bodily components. The road itself was a stretched thin sheet of skin, stitched together crudely and covered in lacerations and rubber track marks. The trees on either side of the road were thick towers of intertwined bone, worn femurs and humors, interconnected and snapped to form branches.
Yeah, so all the bodily components become the landscape.
Yeah, and then there's like at one point where there's like a tower of like, there's like
Bodies.
humans of bodies. It was almost like a Tetris tower.
I thought it was cool, but also he didn't indulge like I wanted him to.
Yeah.
He like said these like basic things, but I'm like, you could spend a whole
Yeah, the
chapter
flesh
describing.
of the world thing is some of that description you just recited there was pretty good. But it does sound like Silent Hill because you mentioned he likes Silent Hill, and in Silent Hill you'll go from the benign, quiet, creepy settings of a town, and then it'll at certain points you'll transfer to like the other side, and it'll be like rusty chains and creepy, dilapidated settings, and it seems kind of like that.
Yeah, because he says on the back, I suppose in a way I was inspired by classics such as Hellraiser and Silent Hill, as well as a bit
kind of a Lovecraftian
of the mist
bent on it.
Yeah. So anyway, keep going. So this is where it gets wild.
But I'm not mad at that because I like that kind of stuff.
Good.
This stuff is getting, some of the imagery is going to get wild. So you got to really like pay attention.
So stop looking at my phone.
No, I'm not. No, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. So
It does get wild.
as she was driving down, like I said, she's seeing all these like bodily skin, body parts, like as she's kind of going into the streets. Mm-hmm. And as she's getting towards, so as she sees all these like familiar buildings, they're all just kind of like in various states of decay, like all these like body parts. And she's wondering if they're real or not. She doesn't know. There's at one point, she like could taste the bile at the bone of her, or like at the back of her throat when she sees like a body rupturing. That was, rupturing. It was disgusting.
Was that
like that part?
Did you put the quote there or no?
No.
Okay.
It was just there. So as she's going towards the end of her road, down the road of her, where she lives, she notices that each of the structures have this like huge head.
Gargantuan?
Yeah, gargantuan. Yes. So after a minute of silent shock, Ellen registered it is her son's. It is the face of her son.
So
I imagine the
son's
Squidward
head was
house.
on top of a big skyscraper building thing.
No,
it
of
was
the
a head.
houses.
It was just like a giant head that was her neighborhood was just like a bunch of his like heads.
His head a bunch.
Giant, yeah. It's like I was
Is this
just,
explained, or is this just weirdness for the sake of
it's just
weirdness?
weirdness. It's just bizarro.
Yeah, bizarre.
I like bizarro stuff, but something about it doing a very traditional Stephen King-esque, sort of tame modern horror thing with a building mystery.
And then switching to
And
this
then
abruptly.
going head first into this stuff.
I didn't know if you would
I don't
like
want to
that
be
or
too
hate
critical. I'm not really crazy about it. From the
And was he
it's-
doing it aware the whole time that he was, because he was like very basic.
Because instead of it
premise the
feeling very
mortician.
organic and like subversive and cool, it almost seems like he's like, bro, now I'm gonna get really
I feel like
wild.
it
That's what
seems
I
like-
can sense that feeling.
I feel like it feels like my
his
fundraiser
intentionality there.
short story when I went from like realism to like just like complete randomness. It
Yeah.
felt like very like abrupt and like
Yeah, because Jules writes short stories, and there was a story she wrote that's these girls on a fundraiser, and then at a certain point they go to someone's house, and then she made an attempt to kind of go weird fiction, strange, Lovecraftian with it.
and she becomes this
Or
monster.
one of the people's
this
house
old
they
lady.
visited, there's this old lady that kind of takes on this surreal imagery and this weird Lovecraftian imagery, and it just kind of felt a little like try hard, I guess.
It did, yeah.
And it didn't feel organic, and it didn't quite work. This has, just hearing it secondhand, it has that quality.
Yeah. Maybe
But
if you read it,
I mean,
it
I'm
would.
not totally mad at some of the imagery and stuff because I like some of that stuff. But that's the feeling I get from it.
No, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so there are 14 identical faces, so they're all of her son's faces. And again, they have the same appearance of the black sunken eyes and the
by
slightly
now.
agape, downturned mouth, whatever. So
I just
Ellen
love watching Jacob's face.
goes to her house, but again, now she's kind of has to kind of crawl in through the lips because the lips is where the doors inside the house.
It's like that museum where you go in Adventure, where you climb inside the boy's body. That's what I thought.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Anyway, okay, let's
All
keep
right,
going.
so the lips were cold and spongy, a fleshy impersonation of a memory foam pillow. The head stared on as Ellen first pushed her arms into the dark space beyond, quickly followed by her shoulders, then her head. So everything in the house seems to be pretty normal, but it's just like completely dark, obviously. So she tries to like utilize some natural light, so maybe like from the moonlight, but but it doesn't really help. So she's just kind of like feeling everywhere, trying to find her son, Ted, and calling out, her name. So as she's going into the house, she recalls a memory of her son about his drug use. She long suspected it was more than cannabis. She smoked the happy herb a few times herself back in college, and not once had she experienced babbling, loss of mobility, anything to that extent. She remembered finding everything happy and feeling a little sleepy, but even as a first-time user, she'd been in total control of her body at all times. Ted had been growing increasingly lethargic and moody, yet jittery. It got to the point he wouldn't even look her in the eye when she spoke to him, until one day, Ellen came home from work early and found her son on the floor of their front room lying prostrate, a foamy pool of vomit soaking into the carpet about his head. The cocaine had almost killed him, a bad batch some of his older friends had scored.
Okay, so this happened.
It's like, it's
Why
a
the
flashback.
fuck is she just now bringing this up? Like, earlier she was kind of talking about it lightly like it was cannabis. and
Yeah,
stuff.
the flashbacks seem like
Why wouldn't you be like,
ill-
yo, it was pretty fucking wild this one time that my son almost OD'd?
Because I don't even know. Maybe it's
That
just
makes
like
no fucking
walking
sense.
through the house and seeing it triggers the details of
No,
seeing him.
you wouldn't. That would be so...
Important.
When you think about your son, that's what you would attach to it memory-wise.
Not the cheap cannabis. Like this
No.
should be
Yeah.
earlier.
So
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, I agree. There's a many.
You would the cheap cannabis would have been so overwritten by this other more traumatic experience.
Yeah.
that you
Right.
would never ever reference cheap cannabis again.
So, so that's her son. Ted was not in the house, shocker. So she tries to get out, but the lips are closed. Okay, so she tries not to panic, but it seems like nothing's working. She even tries to get a knife, but, she's panicking now. Okay, Julia and I were talking about this earlier, and you probably overheard us talking about it, but this imagery makes no fucking sense to me. I was literally reading this over and over again. I had no idea. I'm going to read the quote, and maybe you, Jacob, can tell me if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, because
go.
I read this like 5 times.
Okay, you ready? So Ellen hears something and her head snaps and she looks at the ceiling, okay, as the sound was coming. She remained silent, terrified, as the sharp tool was driven through the ceiling further down the hallway. A thick black rope connected the two. In the blinding moonlight, Ellen could see the rope transverse the length of the hall like the humps of the Loch Ness Monster. How had she slept through it? She shuddered at the thought of waking to the mammoth spear piercing her abdomen while she lay defenseless.
Okay.
Wait, I think I got it now. When you read it, so it's like this thing, the spear that goes, it's like hanging like a Loch Ness Monster because it's going through and then up again.
Yeah, it's kind of
down
like
again.
doing the thing like a ribbon would when you attach it like that. I mean, that's
So
still a
through the
silly comparison. Okay, and she's afraid that it would have went through her while she was...
She fell asleep,
She fell
right?
asleep after
Yeah.
she couldn't get out, okay. And she wakes up to see a rope with like a blade or something.
Thick black rope connected.
Like
the
kind of
two.
like in a stitch pattern going through the ceiling.
When Ashley read it out loud, when I was reading it, it didn't make sense to me, but hearing it spoken kind of made, and it's like a Loch Ness Monster, so it's going like this through the ceiling and falling down into, right?
Okay, what is this thing? I guess keep going, but
It's still a bad description.
yeah, so it's a strange description. I'm not crazy.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still can't quite wrap my mind around what exactly is happening there.
I'm trying to go
So
back to it.
what happens next is she takes the rope and then she starts climbing herself upwards, I guess.
But I thought it was like kind of hooked through the ceiling. How's
But
she going?
she's like using the rope to climb.
Okay.
So she cuts the rope though.
Oh, she cuts it?
She retrieved her knife and then she used it to like sever the rope, I guess, so that she
Oh,
could start
right.
climbing it. Yeah. So she could and then 2 ends hung loose, and she was able to pull.
Oh, you're right. Okay. And then that's what she used to climb herself up. Okay.
So it's descending from some higher place.
From the head, to the top of the ceiling. It's going in and
She
out.
starts climbing, just like muscling her way up this rope.
Because it's the one place out of the house. Because
I
she
know,
can't
but that's not easy to fucking do.
I know, it's not easy.
She got strong.
Even
arms.
like in gym class, when you're climbing the rope, there's knots on it.
Well, somehow Ellen manages to climb up the rope and through the top of the head, and she ends up on a cadaver's body, and she realizes that she's miniature. And the miniature Ellen is looking up at the giant Ellen doing an embalming on a cadaver, and she waves her hands up and down,
jumps up and down and tries to get her attention, fails to do so, ends up climbing down Big Ellen's body, runs outside, sees the van approaching, hides, and the two men get out of the car. They're like, where'd she go? She thinks she's hiding well, but they end up seeing tiny Ellen, and she's shocked by that. And then one of them picks her up, opens his mouth, plops tiny Ellen into his mouth, and swallows her.
Okay, so she's spat out into the street, but it's still dark out. But she feels like she's regular size. She can't see, but she thinks that she's regular size.
Yeah.
Okay, so as she was in the car, she starts the engine, but she hears this like monotonous growl, and she couldn't tell what she was hearing. Like it's like a weird, like the pitch of the sound is kind of going in and out, and she doesn't really know what it is.
This is like the army of people.
Yeah, but then suddenly she sees like at least like 50 shadow-like entities that are just kind of passing by at the end of the road. This whole part I thought was like, I kind of liked it. In my opinion. I didn't think the imagery was bad. Okay. At least 50 shadows were passing by the end of her road from left to right. Silent, identical, robot-like, they marched in an unorganized formation, occasionally bumping into one another, but showing no sign of recognition. Even when 4 or 5 of them tripped and fell to the floor in a tangled heap, the others didn't help them back to their feet. Ellen shrank lower still as the front of the crowd passed through her headlights, and their features came into focus.
Yeah, I don't like that description of a robot-like either.
I
It's
read
such a
this out
lazy,
loud.
weird description.
I read that out loud, and I knew it.
What does that mean when you say robot-like? That I mean, I know that a lot of people get the shorthand of that makes sense to a lot of people, but it just seems like it'd be better served to describe the movements, which you would broadly describe as robot-like, but actually describe them in detail.
Like the swing of the arms were like...
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Does that make sense? Something about robot-like seems lazy.
I mean, I got what he was trying to say, but
because
I see
he
what
said
you mean.
robot-like. It's just like it's like a child would describe it. I don't know, it kind of bothers me.
No, but I see what you mean. But I mean, I got what he was trying to say, but like I get it.
Because you like that part. What page? Yeah, this is at 4 a.m., right?
It's kind of like a show don't tell kind
It
of.
reminds me of the film that my brother did with like the group of people like in the headlights and like it reminds me of Little Nightmares again, the people that are glued to the TV and they're all like standing in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And like she's like has to like run past. Okay, sorry. Anyway, keep going for sake of time.
Okay. So, she cracks her. Where am I?
But they all look like her son, right?
Okay, so she goes towards the street and she sees that the shadows look like her son, right? And so now she kind of wants to follow them to see if they would lead her to her real son. So she's going to give it a couple minutes, but then she's going to follow them very slowly. All right, so Ellen was about to give up on the hunt, but then she turned her van around and she sees like a cluster of figures up ahead.
Because she's scared that they're gonna like, if she makes a sudden movement or something, they're gonna maybe like turn and turn bad and stuff, right? It's like kind of like a stealth part of the game, where you have to go quietly behind.
And also the simple premise of looking for her son, and the imagery of her son showing up throughout this traumatic, metaphorical experience is like every horror video game I've ever played in my life.
Okay, so Ellen.
We're nearing the end. We're nearing the climax.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
getting
good.
towards the end. Okay, so Ellen focuses on the boy closest to her, and it breaks her heart to see him like this. She says, so close yet completely out of reach. Part of her wanted to stay there all night and just look at him, feel close to him, but her logical side reminded her abruptly that this was not her son.
I got a question for you guys. Did you feel any emotional connection to her trying to find her son, and was that stuff working at all?
No,
It seems like that stuff.
I didn't care enough about the son.
I didn't care.
I feel like it would really help this story a lot if that was there.
If it was built in earlier, because I didn't get a sense that she cared about her son at all
Yeah.
earlier. It was like this, like
And that's my fundamental thing I'm kind of picking up on as you get closer to the end here. It seems like it's about her and her son. Just
Trying
all
to
this
make
horror imagery kind of revolves around metaphors and motifs and imagery surrounding the son. And she's trying to find him in
Yeah.
sort of this trauma she's experiencing. And it's like the last thing she has to hang on to because of all the shitty stuff that's happened to her with her husband or whatever, or boyfriend or whatever. So yeah, no, that connection not really working.
It's kind of
It's just kind of going through the motions of what should work to create an emotional connection, but it's not actually like reaching the reader at all.
No.
That's a big problem.
I feel like the first half of the book was just wasted.
Yeah.
like-
Why not use that time to establish some of the stuff so it pays off?
Instead of doing
Yeah.
like, and she could have like, instead of doing like all this thing with
Because
the-
imagine her sitting there worrying about his drug problem and the fact that he OD'd and all this. But no, she kind of makes it like this reference to him being like a lame stoner kid.
yeah, like
Yes.
It's really, that's so,
the monotony with all the bodies. Like I feel like she could have just like it could have been like a thing, and also bringing up the phone. Like maybe she's like checking to see if he texted her, or like.
yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot
Checking
of
in
tension you could have built that paralleled the growing mystery and tension of the bodies and the eyes and everything.
Yeah, the only time that she brought it up was like when she said like she had to put her career on hold and stuff
Okay.
when she had her son. Sorry, I had to get that out.
Okay, good job. That's cool. Is the eye stuff, is that reference when he's ODing? Like his eyes were darkened?
Oh, is that a thing?
No.
Because that could be cool.
Okay. Because it seems like she's maybe being haunted by this thing that happened. But it.
Well, maybe. You know what? Let's revisit
Let's get to
this
the end. Okay,
When
sorry.
we get to the end, because maybe you're onto something.
Because that would be a cool way to tie it all if that was.
I was gonna say something, then it would be spoiler-esque. So I'll mention it to you when we get to the
Spoiler-esque.
end. Okay. Okay. So as she grabs one of the motionless figures or whatever, and as she's kind of clutching onto him, and she's like, oh, I'm trying to fix things, blah blah blah. It evaporates, or like it kind of just, this thing goes into dust. Mm-hmm. And then once it went into dust, all the other figures also went into dust, and it almost creates this like black sea.
Like a game.
Like what happens? That's what happens to the little nightmares when I find the memories. I like character
Really?
hugs them and they turn into dust. Yeah, girl. it's such like a game.
Something lame about in literature describing game-like things happening.
Keep that to the game. Okay, keep that to the game medium.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
I think Jacob hates this more than Cock. And Cock he
That
hated.
was way better than this. All right, go ahead.
I'm not saying something.
Okay, so as she's kind of walking through the Black Sea, she sees a toy box, but it's not just any toy box. It's Ted's toy box. And so she... I'm just looking at his face.
I didn't get a sense of the size of this toy box. Was it like big, small?
I guess it was like a smaller one. I don't think it was very big.
I don't know. I was confused.
But anyway, she opens the toy box, and inside is a crayon drawing of their family that Ted did when he was younger. And also like the birthday card that they had on the fridge. Mm-hmm. I can't. It's real funny looking at his face. He looks so disappointed.
It looks annoying.
The problem
annoyed.
is, I don't usually get this annoyed at this stuff, but a lot of times it's erotica and stuff, and there's a certain tongue-in-cheek quality to it, or I guess my expectations change when I'm reading a serious horror story written by a writer who's saying that they're writing bizarro or weird fiction.
No, I get that.
And that's a genre I really like. So, yeah, I guess my standards kind of go up, so it makes me more frustrated by a story like this than I would be by
I was going to
one
tell
where people are having sex with
I
dinosaurs.
knew Jacob wouldn't like this because and he claimed to be a weird fiction writer. Also, going
And I
back
don't mean
to
to be
that,
all gatekeepery about it, but
No,
it's,
no,
yeah,
not
it's
at all.
just
so weird.
it's just frustrating me. Yeah.
Also, going back to that memory real quick, there is no mention of his eyes when he's in his pool of.
That's what I thought, right?
No mention of eyes at all.
But I want to actually go back to that because, maybe you might be onto something. Okay, so on this picture, it says, I love you, mommy, all that. Or mummy. I love you,
He's
mummy.
British, yeah. He's from
British.
the UK.
Okay. So, as she's kind of like looking at it, it has the words inside or some kind of like card engraving. I don't know. It says Bunny Meadows. And I was like, what the fuck is Bunny Meadows? And then we go into the next chapter. Mm-hmm. And it's been revealed that Ellen is a cheater. Okay. So this is where her true cards.
Also, was this shit not hinted at earlier at all?
I know, right? She's trying to villainize her husband.
I know,
and
when
here
all
she is
along.
cheating.
Is this in first person or third person?
Third person.
But you're kind of like in her head.
It's not first. It's not first person. Oh no, it's third. You're right.
It is third person limited.
So it could withhold this information from us.
Yeah.
And it kind of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's like, yeah. But also I feel like none of this, like no inkling of her having been, like she was a perfect, like she did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Okay, so Ellen, she's a cheater. She never intended to cheat. She's always been hit on by men. That's what she says. Even after giving birth to her son, she's always had a slim figure. So she's always.
She said she had dick pics coming into her DMs.
She had to
8 dick pics in a month, and
she said she had to private or delete her social media because of all the dick pics she was getting. I was like, this is dumb as hell.
That was literally a detail. I was like, oh my god. I think I put a eye roll emoji there. What was the person's name that she cheated on her husband on, though?
His name is
Francis. I don't know why that shit was hilarious to me.
I feel like you would cheat on a man cheat with a man named Francis.
Does it tell us about what was so charming about him?
She met him at Bunny Meadows.
Okay, so she meets Francis at the daycare Bunny Meadows. Francis is a single father, and he had a little girl that also went to the daycare. So that's how they met. At first, their relationship was kind of innocent. Like they were, just getting coffee, and they were kind of reminiscing of their experiences of going to the same high school because they didn't know. And so, and also, she feels bonded to him because he reveals to her that his wife was in a car crash, and she said as a natural empath.
Oh, I hated that part.
Ellen just wanted to give him a cuddle.
She wanted to cuddle with him.
Cuddle? That's
Cuddle,
a direct quote?
Yes!
All right, we got to put this out of his misery. Please finish the story. I can't take this.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Okay, so they had the affair, but Frances, she kind of broke things off with him because she couldn't take the guilt with being with him. And I want to make it known that she liked the fact that Frances was kind of like dominating her and kind of like forcing her into this like relationship. Mm-hmm. I just kind of want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that was an interesting detail.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't brought up till later.
It actually makes the story way better and kind of like fixes a lot of the problems I have with it.
Really?
No.
No. Don't you lie to me.
Okay, so Frances didn't take the news well. So what he did was one night he sent her husband, Jack, a thread of their messages.
When she cut it off, yeah. Mm-hmm. And one of the messages was, oof.
Yes. Ooh, yeah, this was pretty bad. So one of them was, she basically said that her husband and her child were a burden. Burden!
That was it? I thought it was going to be like he had a bigger ding dong or something.
I'm sure they had other conversations in the thread, but
that's
was
what
one
I thought it was going to be. Seriously, like, ooh, one of the things she sent was yeesh. And it was like about the son. I'm like, oh, that he had like a bigger wiener or something. You know what I mean?
So she said.
So that's pretty sad.
The
That's
title
what
of
I
the
was
book
thinking.
had to come back.
I know.
Your mind was
Burden.
reading too much. Yeah. That's what I was saying. The title of the book would come back. That's what we were looking at. You're like,
Is it?
Wow. I forgot the name. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But that's great. Okay. Cool.
read the email though.
Okay, so what she said was, had she really called her husband and child a burden? What had she been thinking? Sure, she put her life on hold to raise Ted, but she wouldn't change what she had for the world. How could she have been so stupid?
Wow. And then you reveal the big twist, like in every modern horror video game I've ever played in my fucking life. It's all psychological and it's all a big metaphor. And oh God, I hate this. All right.
Okay, we're getting to the end.
Fast forward.
Okay, so now we're back into, reality. So Ellen is now going to the daycare.
The Bunny Meadows daycare.
This
is where like the climactic like fight scene happens, like final boss.
So at the end you go to Bunny Meadows.
Yes.
It's like a DLC pack. Bunny Meadows DLC.
Francis is like the final boss, you'd say.
Okay.
He's like the thing that represents everything that she did wrong.
Is there like a grotesque version of him?
Gosh, this scene makes so much more sense now. I think of it as a
Are you
video game.
serious?
Yeah.
This
So
is-
they're in the playroom, and like she's like, there's like these building blocks and stuff.
Hey, girl.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're fine. So she goes into the daycare and she looks on this monitor, this computer monitor, and she sees that 3 names have checked in.
Such like a game.
I
oh my
know.
god.
Oh my gosh. It's her name,
Ted.
Ted's, and then Francis. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to see. I'm really nervous to see him. I haven't seen him since she broke things off with him." She hears her son's voice and wants to save him.
Mommy.
But no, the son's making her feel bad.
Oh yeah. The son's
She's
pissed
all
off.
like, "You didn't want us.
You wanted an
said that
abortion."
yeah, you just left us behind."
All her dark insecurity thoughts are coming to the surface through
Right.
this.
In a game, you'd be like walking down the hall, and these echoey things would be,
Yeah.
you know, in the track
she doesn't
playing, and they're overlapping each other and echoing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
So she doesn't see him, but as it's kind of like appearing, Francis appears, and he's talking in Ted's voice. Mm-hmm. So he's the one that's been saying all this. And when he appears, he's naked.
Okay.
This is the promised shaft. I think that wording was used. Actually.
Oh, it talks about his wiener
Yes.
and his big old shaft.
Yes.
But it's supposed to create this sense of like guilt because of her relationship.
It is so on the nose. She has this dramatic monologue at one point.
Okay, so Francis has all these like incisions all over him and whatnot. And so
Mutilated.
okay, so as she's kind of screaming, Francis kind of lunges at her, and his flaccid meat is dribbling dark, vicious gunge.
That was word for word from the book, right?
Yeah.
Flaccid meat.
It's trying too hard.
But also, if you're gonna go that far,
Thumbs down.
get more disgusting. Get like bitch in the box level.
Yeah, this sucks.
Are you gonna read the dramatic monologue?
I will. Okay, so at one point she's talking about some of her postpartum. Mm-hmm. And so, because she's like, "Oh, it was true. Everything Francis had said in her son's voice. She had wanted an abortion. But Jack had talked her out of it. She'd been terrified of throwing her life away so young, but more than anything, wanted to make Jack happy. As her body grew, so did her resentment of the thing inside her. It was a weight she could never lift, a shackle she would never be free of. It represented everything she stood to lose. After birth, she never felt the instinct to hold, to love, and protect. She'd been put on pills for postnatal depression only to later overdose on purpose. Then at some point down the line, something clicked. She was still there."
So kind of cool, but also kind of just like a basic thing on postpartum. But like also like I kind of like thought that was, I don't know.
Just because it mentioned it at all.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but anyways, like if you want to make this thing about the sun, I feel like it, again, like what Jacob was saying, like more prevalent earlier. Like we don't
I
care.
think
I don't
all of
care.
these themes, these disparate themes, like I feel like you could do something interesting with all of these. It would just be better if it wasn't so on the nose, and some of these metaphors are a little bit more subtle and not like laid out for you in these like internal monologues, and
They're so laid out.
and with bizarro dream imagery that represents exactly the state of mind of the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a game would be.
Of course, like the person that she cheated on was like the represent, like the thing that.
It would be kind of interesting to be able to speculate at some of this a little bit more.
Yeah, like weird fiction does. Like, all right, okay, so we're so close to the end.
Yeah, we're really close. Okay, so Ellen is trying to go through this like playroom area.
It's like a
Okay,
maze.
so right now she's crawling on all fours from under this arch thing. And Ellen, oh my gosh, I just like, so much stuff happens.
But also not a lot at all.
Right?
It's just like fighting. Like she trips
It's like
and falls.
action scenes.
Yeah.
Like weirdness.
Okay, so she sees Bill. Bill comes back.
Oh yeah, the cop or the security
the
guard.
security guard. But
So he was representative of the lust she had for the other guy. Is there some like sort of sexual deviancy that's sort of represented by her lusting after Bill or whatever?
I guess.
maybe so, yeah. So she...
Probably something. Some symbolic thing.
Okay, so she sees Bill, and she's like, oh my gosh, I thought you died. But he didn't die. So Bill's like, oh my gosh, come with me. I know where your son is. But she's like, okay, I'll come, but I'm a little weary about this. I don't know if I should really trust this, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's revealed. Bill is actually the bad guy. Not Bill, but he's actually Francis.
He's a shapeshifter like we saw in, in the bottle.
I like Spin the Bottle like 100 times more than I like
It's
this.
more endearing. It's more endearing. This too try hard one. You can't trust any of these men in this.
Okay, so I guess Francis is trying to rape her. Mm-hmm. He's like trying to get on top of her.
Because again, she was dominated, or like a callback, I guess, to that the first time they had sex.
Yeah, but then Ellen, she has this like moment. She's like, you know what? Long ago, I probably would have been down, but this time, I'm not. So as Francis was just kind of on her, Ellen bites into his throat and just takes it out with her teeth.
This sucks.
She shook her head like a stray dog and tore his throat out.
This is embarrassing.
No, it's not.
This is
just
trying
to-
so hard to be like cool and vicious and like violent.
It's just not though.
This sucks, dude.
Wait,
Can
let me
I'm about to
finish
leave.
What?
Yeah, this doesn't
We're
have
so
that-
close.
Okay. I'm kidding.
I promise we're close. So his hand went to his neck, but Ellen seized the moment and pushed him off of her and then rolled over, wrapped both hands around his genitals, and put the final reserves of her energy into tearing them from his body.
Of course.
So she tossed
exactly.
I like this better in Bitch in the Box.
I know. She tossed the flaccid meat shaft and protruded testicles away and mounted him as the ragged hole between his legs oozed a torrent of bile across the road, screaming as she beat him across the head, chest, and stomach with everything she had.
I thought she would. When she
I thought
mounted
she was using
him.
the ding dong to hit.
Same. I thought. Well, no. I thought she
That'd
when
have
she
been way
mounted him.
cooler.
I thought she was like going to like. I recalled back Bitch in the Box moments when she like took off his penis and then she had sex with the.
She like stuck it in his mouth. or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. It
Yeah.
was.
Oh my gosh.
That was a missed opportunity.
So her
Then
final.
again, I
epic
would have probably
scene,
just thought it
she's-
was lame if that's what
Yeah,
happened.
you probably would have,
Like,
regardless
okay,
of what.
stop trying so hard. You know what I mean? So he can't win. Okay.
So as it's kind of like coming out, so she's kind of like cutting him right now. And so as she's cutting him, guess who comes out of him?
Wait, hold on. One
Something's
of the
writhing in his body.
So we're cutting up Francis right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teddy.
So she's
Her
able to
son-
extract him out and rescue him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this
that's-
has a happy ending.
Yeah, it's
Is
like a
that the
baby
end?
lamb. No.
It's compared to
Fuck.
baby. It's kind of disgusting how she.
Yeah, it's really
cuts him out of
gross.
him. Like she has to cut
It's
like.
supposed to be like a
umbilical-
birth thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
Okay. I don't know. I think this might push him to the edge. You ready for this? The ending?
Yes.
Okay,
God,
11 a.m. She is awakened, right?
Oh, there's like a
And
final
she
twist.
is in the hospital. It was all an imagination. She was just crazy.
She was just like crazy.
Her son committed suicide.
Oh, stop.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. And no, she wakes up, sees her Jack, her soon-to-be ex, and he's like, "You're."
I love these faces.
She's like, "Where is he? Where's Teddy? Is he okay?" And she's like, "He committed suicide because of you."
This is fucking terrible.
The end.
That's the end?
Wait.
Wait, what?
He's dead. Is that the end? She screamed
Yeah,
herself.
then
What's the last line?
But her
Hit me with
gaze
it.
set upon. She had mud.
I like a good last
forearms.
line.
Oh yeah, read the last line. Read the last two lines. Yeah.
okay. Her gaze set upon her let me do that again. Her gaze set upon her mud-caked forearms and fingernails. She screamed her son's name. Oh, God. And then there was a really cringe afterward.
That's an okay last line. Okay.
I think so.
We'll end on a positive note. Her screaming her son's name as the last line is kind of... I like last lines that are full of...
ambiguity of what?
Well, it's not really ambiguity, but it has a lot of... There's a lot of weight to it. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm ending on a positive, okay?
That's nice of you. I
very
didn't
nice
expect
of
you
you.
to have that.
Y'all gotta watch the video podcast to see Jacob's disdain.
He took off his glasses and was pressing the bridge of his nose. Oh, let's read the first line. Hey there, of his afterword. Hey there, thanks for reading Birded. I hope it hasn't left you too emotionally ruined. And this is when I knew I hated this book. Stop. I don't know why that was so cringy to me.
That's terrible.
But honestly, talking about this book and reviewing it, like talking about it like in the terms of a video game, helped a lot.
It did.
With this book for me did not go beyond the bottom shelf. It was, I don't know, I kind of actually enjoyed reading at the beginning, but after we unpacked it more and like, I don't know, stuff like the whole, how on the nose some of it was.
Yeah, I don't know, because for me, I kind of like when things kind of like go like kind of bizarre like that, and they kind of go into this like alternate reality. Okay, you guys, this might be a spoiler. My favorite, I love this game, Life is Strange, and there's a part that in the game that's kind of like that, and it's a really cool part because you don't really expect it, and so I kind of thought that's oh my gosh, and then maybe that's kind of what it is. This book is like a video game.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm so frustrated by it, because I do like stuff like this. So if something's getting close to something I like, but not quite getting there, it kind of like bounces off.
Right.
I bounce off of it pretty hard. And I know I'm just hearing it secondhand, so
do you think
it's a little
there was
unfair to the story, but that's part of the fun, okay?
I don't know. Also,
But yeah, compared to something like Videodrome, where that's something that really goes down the rabbit hole and gets weird, and there's some metaphors and there's some themes there, but it's kind of hard to extract totally, and you get this big ball of strangeness and ambiguity, and you're kind of left thinking about it. That's the kind of stuff in this genre that appeals to me.
I feel like it helps when the characters feel like very real, and like obviously real characters help, but like, yeah, I think when we were talking about this, how we could have like set up so much about her caring about her son, because when she started like wanting that connection, which I guess could be cool in some way, like a desperate like wanting this connection with her son.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
But I guess, and like some of the cool images that could have been cool, I felt like weren't. I feel like you should have gone all the way more instead of just using some of these not the most exciting adjectives and descriptions.
It didn't really go beyond the bottom shelf for me. But maybe our next read will be, we're going to read, should we read Haunted Vagina or some erotica?
You guys got 10 seconds to figure it out because we're about to run out of card space.
Okay, we don't know. But bye, y'all.
I will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Bottom Shelf.
Bye.
Bye.